Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm going to show all you single people, men and women that live by themselves, how to cook stuff for the holidays in small portions so that you're not overwhelmed with the holidays. And for you new parents, new families, you don't know how to really cook that much, but you know how to work around the kitchen, this is for you. So I'm going to start off with some glaze that I need for my hams. I'm going to be doing a turkey ham and a regular ham. So this is for my people that be like, I really want to do a turkey ham, but I don't know what to do. You do the same thing you do for a ham. So we're going to start off with the glaze. I start off with some pineapple juice. And I'll just pour it from the can of pineapples because we're going to use these pineapples on our hams. A ginger ale soda. Yup, ginger ale. Some butter. Margarine if you like margarine. A cup of brown sugar. And you know you pack brown sugar to get the full cup. It gotta be in there. Okay. And we go into my spice drawer to get the cinnamon. So you need some cinnamon in here. I'm going to step away for a second because I forgot to get my vanilla. I like to use Madagascar vanilla. This is a vanilla paste, so you don't need too much of it. Half a teaspoon will do. We're going to stir it up. And we're going to let this simmer on not too low, but on low to thicken up and get ready for our hams. So we're going to move on over to our next thing. Now, I cleaned all my meats, but I like to season my beef. I like to season my beef the night before. So let me tell you about this bag. This is one of those storage bags where you can lengthen the time of your food, or you can use it to marinate your food because it vacuum packs. So I seasoned my beef already. In this mixture, I have some onions, some sweet onions, some sweet potatoes. Yes, I put sweet potatoes in my beef. Some regular potatoes and some carrots. And you just spread it all around in here. And this is about almost a 3-pound beef. If you don't eat it all, in case you're single, you can always slice it up and put it in the freezer. This is Lipton onion soup I'm going to put in here, help season it up, because the vegetables still need seasoning. We're going to add some salt. I forgot to turn it on, y'all. We got some black pepper. Going to get some more garlic. You can never have enough garlic. Never, 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 never have enough garlic. It's good for you too. A little bit of granulated onion. And I'm going to use some of this garlic confit that you see on my videos. It's easy to make. And I'm going to drop some of these in there. Told you we can never have enough garlic around here. Get some around here. All right. There we go. And if you want, you can use water if you don't have no beef broth in your house. But for this occasion, when I'm making beef, I always buy a little bit of beef broth and pour it around in there. You only need about half the container because this beef is going to make some juice too. Nope, I did not forget about my glaze over here. Then we're going to cover it. Try to get it on your pan as tight as possible. And I'm going to move this to the side. I'm going to get that a little bit tighter. A little bit tighter, we're going to get it. Now this is a chicken. I couldn't find a small enough turkey for this time of season, so I got a chicken. And again, my chicken is clean and it's seasoned. But what we're going to do with this chicken is what I normally do with my turkey at this time of year, is we're going to deep fry this chicken. It's already seasoned really well. And again, I vacuum sealed it in this bag to help the seasoning go all inside this chicken. I had some scissors here. I hid them from myself. So I'm going to use this knife. And no, I did not inject it with anything. I just seasoned the inside and outside of my chickens and turkeys. And I seasoned it with some garlic pepper, some garlic, granulated garlic, some granulated onion, some smoked paprika, some herb seasoning that is mixed together. And it's in here, and so it's a grinder that grinds it up. There's no salt in that. So I always add salt because there's no salt in that herb seasoning. And the beef, the same way. I'll season that with some salt, pepper, some garlic, some onion, and that herb seasoning. So I'm stirring the sauce again. We don't want it to stick. Don't want it to burn. Just keeping an eye on it. So it's starting to thicken up. So by the time we get this in the deep fryer, we're using the deep fryer to fry it. It's already heated up. Take it and transfer it into the basket. Oops. Sorry guys, gotta get a paper towel. And we're gonna bring this back over. Now, again, like I said, this is a chicken, so it's not gonna take as long as a turkey. That's definitely enough for that. So it should only take about a half hour. It's normally 3.5 to 4 minutes per pound. And this is about a 6-pound chicken. I'll be checking on it when it gets about 20 minutes to make sure it doesn't overcook. So our glaze is looking ready. I'm gonna wash my hands, but the glaze is ready, so we're gonna start on the hams as soon as we come back. Okay. So this is our turkey ham. And this one is our regular ham. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna finish opening up these pineapples. We're gonna get our cloves. Some cloves. This thing is never easy to open. There we go. And we are going to we're going to have to use these cloves to stick this pineapple on here. There we go. I only brought 1 can of pineapple, so we're going to have to share these pineapples. One up top is good. Oops. Side one don't want to stick. Let's help it out with a few more cloves. There we go. Let's get some cloves directly in our hams. Oh, these cloves, these hands, pineapples acting up. Okay. That's all right. It can act up. And this is ready. This is our glaze. It has thickened. We're going to pour it over the top of the ham. Oops. All over the top. And now when it's in the oven, you will be checking it and taking a brush and just brushing the glaze on the ham as it cooks. And there we go. There we go. So now our hams are ready to go into the oven. We're going to cover them with some aluminum foil. And all of this is going to go in the oven on 350 degrees, and our oven is already at 350 degrees. And the ham should be in there about 30 minutes because ham is already pre-cooked. You really just want your glaze to get set on it. Up a little bit taller. Okay, we'll use another piece. Okay, and there we go. Now our meats are ready to go into the oven. Okay, guys, let's check on this chicken. Ooh. Wait till y'all see this. Look at this. This is pretty brown, so I'm actually going to get the thermometer and check it. We don't want no dry breasts on our hands. Give it a check. Okay. I don't think it's there yet. Slowing down. Nope. It's only 113. You gotta wear a glove. You don't want the grease to pop you. Okay. Hey guys, so our chicken beat. We're gonna pull it up. Check our temperature. Chicken might be well done, well done. And we are ready. We're gonna let it drain before we move it to the dish. Hey guys, welcome back. So now we are gonna start our side dish portion of this small meal. We're gonna be making cornbread dressing, and I have to make the cornbread first for that to bake. We're gonna be making baked macaroni and cheese and collard greens. So I'm gonna put our smoked turkey and our broth in here to start sauteing first before we put our collard greens in. This is a pressure cooker. I cook my collard greens in here because they come out so tender and good, and I ain't got to worry about it cooking on the stove for hours. This is what you want to use. So I got some smoked turkey wings. I'm going to put them in the pot. I got some chicken broth I'm going to put in the pot. I'm going to add a little bit more water to this because it didn't cover these big old smoked turkeys. Okay. Now to this, I'm going to add some granulated garlic. Yes, that much. Can never have enough garlic. Some granulated onion. Some black pepper. Some salt. Some of my seasoning salt. I need to change my batteries. It's a little slow today. It's a little slow today. Okay. And we're going to start it on saute. We're going to let that saute for a little bit. Oh, sorry, guys. I forgot to add my garlic confit. We're going to add some of this. Now we are rocking with that. So now we're going to start on our cornbread. I'm going to bake it in cast iron pan. So you want to grease your pan. And whenever you are baking something, when it says to grease and flour, you want it to look just like that because you don't want it to stick. Just like that. If it don't look like that, it's going to stick. Let's set that aside and let's start our cornbread. Now I'm actually doubling the recipe, so I'm actually going to be using 2 cups of the cornmeal. This is a 1 cup. And in case you don't know, because people like to tell me it's the same measurement, it's not the same measurement. It is off by like 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch. This is a dry measuring cup. This is a liquid measuring cup. Dry, liquid, okay? We need 2 cups of flour. You want to level it off. Baking is precise. Cooking, you have some leeway. Change it however you want, but when you bake, your measurements are precise. And then you need I didn't take out the 1/2 cup, but I've been doing this a long time. 1/2 cup of sugar. I'm going to add a little bit more just because we like ours a little bit sweet. You need 6 teaspoons of baking powder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You need, now I'm going to make a little hole in the middle of this so we can mix it easier for our liquids. 2 beaten eggs. Half a cup of oil. Two cups of milk. Now remember I said this is double. So you would only need a cup of everything that I said you need 2 cups of. About a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And you just mix it up. Just mix it up. And cornbread, you don't need a blender or a hand mixer. You really just want to mix it by hand. It should be lumpy. All the lumps are not going to be out of it. See what I mean? It's a lot of little lumps. It's going to be there. And that's that for that. And we're going to pour it into our cast iron pan. And it would need to bake for about 15 to 20 minutes in a 350-degree oven. Just spread it out. And there we go. Cornbread into the oven. So now we have our salted water boiling. I'm going to add our noodles to it. I'll stir them real quick, make sure they don't stick. And that's for our macaroni and cheese. They're going to boil for about 12 to 15 minutes, just until they tender enough, but not all the way done because they are going to go in the oven to bake. And you can finger touch them or fork touch them. Okay. So now we're going back to our pressure cooker to start adding our greens into the pressure cooker. They've already been cleaned, washed, chopped, and we're going to add them to our smoked turkey. This pot is definitely not as big as the other pot. So I have another pressure cooker pot that I use. It's gotten really old. It's been around for a long, long time now. And so I got a new one. And this one is just a tad bit smaller, but we're going to make this work. We will get in what we can get in. And you know, greens, they cook down a whole lot, so they will work. And they fit. This is awesome. Now, even though I already seasoned the meat, we're going to re-season the top of our greens, okay? I'm going to use the sea salt. Thank you. Some more granulated onion. Some more granulated garlic. A little bit of crushed pepper. Just not that much, maybe like a quarter teaspoon, because my granddaughter doesn't really like her collard greens that hot. She 3, but she like a little bit of spice, but not a lot of spice. And I'm going to add a stick of butter. Then we are going to close our lid. Put this on airtight. There's a little button up here that tells you it's unsalts. It lets the steam out. Airtight, it holds it in. We're going to turn on the pressure cooker. We're going to set this for 30 minutes. And our greens will be all done. Well, we have everything started and set. Let's stir these noodles a little bit, because they are cooking. But I know y'all been watching me pull these seasonings from down the bottom, and I'm going to show y'all my lovely, beautiful little seasoning drawer. Can you see this? Everything's in alphabetical order, and I have everything. And yes, I use these seasonings all throughout the year. Some may not get used as much as others, but it's all here. We go from ancho powder, which is it's a pepper. It's not spicy, but you use it a lot when you're cooking Mexican food, and all the way down the line to vegetable seasoning. I got my vanilla beans, some cinnamon sticks, and there we have it. And guess what, y'all? How did I forget the cranberry sauce? Don't ask me, but let's start our cranberry sauce, okay? So guys, our macaroni noodles are actually tender enough, so I'm gonna turn these off and rinse them, because we don't want them to keep cooking. Sorry guys, I forgot. I'm actually making this everything in one pot, so I don't want to rinse them. But I am gonna take the butter and add it to them so they don't start to stick together. And I'm gonna remove my little handy, this thing comes in. It's so handy when you're cooking pasta or anything that you have to drain out the pot. You just snap it on the side of the pot and drain right from where you're at. So I'm just gonna put the butter in here, and I'm gonna put the salt and pepper in here. Season that right on up. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to come right back to that in 1 minute. So I'm going to start our cranberry sauce. Turning the pot on medium. I'm going to add to this a cup of water, a cup of sugar, and the cranberries. In there. I'm going to add some orange. I forgot to get a knife. I think I want a little bit more than that. Yeah. That's about right. Right there. We might as well finish squeezing this out of this orange. Save the rest of this for my granddaughter when she come home from school. And also we're going to add maybe 2 cinnamon sticks. Oh no, I got a great big one here, so we'll just add 1 cinnamon stick to that. So this is more like a savory cranberry. And I just thought that I wanted to add something to it, and it just left my brain. Put the cinnamon stick in. Thyme and sage. That's what I want to add. So we're going to add some thyme in here. And some sage. We're going to stir this up. Let it come to a boil. And then we will turn the temperature down. Now, everybody makes mac and cheese different. And this is actually a specialty mac and cheese because I'm using some special cheese in this. I call it my fancy mac and cheese. And I had already shredded my cheese up. I'm going to turn this fire back on low and open up our canned milk here. Yes, I use canned milk when I make my mac and cheese. Some people use buttermilk. I do use buttermilk every now and then, but we're going to use canned milk today. Use canned milk today. And so we're going to pour this in. Give it a little stir. Let it get hot. Goes in was off, but that's why I didn't want to cool the mac and cheese down, because I knew I was going to make everything in the pan. So, no, I'm not making a roux. No, I'm not making a cheese sauce. Everything is going in the pan. And the cheeses that I use is smoked Gruyere. This is the smoked Gruyere. Smoked Gruyere, I use some Fantana cheese. I use some Gruyere and some white cheddar cheese. No, there's no orange cheese in this dish. Just in case somebody wanted to ask. No orange cheese, all white cheese. And we are going to start adding our cheeses. And these cheeses are really creamy, so they melt very fast. And we like our mac and cheese really cheesy, so yes, I plan on putting all this cheese in this pot. And as you can see, the cheese is already melting, getting nice and stringy. I will save some cheese for the top of the pan once I put it in the pan. And remember, I already put the butter in here. It was all over the noodles. Drop some on the stove. We'll save the rest for the top of the pan. And if you do it this way, you must keep stirring. You don't want your cheese or milk to get scorched on the bottom of the pan. See that? Every single noodle got cheese on it. We're now going to transfer this into this pan. So our cranberries is boiling. So I'm going to cut it down to almost low and let it finish setting up. So now our mac and cheese. We're going to put it in the pan. Look at that. Y'all get that full effect? Now, this was a box and a half of noodles. My family loves mac and cheese, so I can't skimp on them. But if you're single and cooking just for yourself, unless you got a friend or something coming over, you are more than welcome to cook a whole box. You can actually cook it in 2 smaller pans, and that way you could freeze one and go ahead and bake the other one. Or if you know somebody, an elderly person that lives on your block that don't also have that much family that comes by, you can always take a dish over to them. Why not? It's holiday time. People get lonely. So you want to just also offer somebody else some food, because they may be lonely at this time and need it. So we're going to mix these cheeses up and sprinkle them on top. The more cheese, the better. You can actually have mac and cheese as a whole meal by itself. It has everything you need in there. It got protein, it got your starch. Well, it don't have vegetables, but it got your dairy, your starch, your protein, your fiber. It's real good. Just have it by itself. My family eats tomatoes. I used to make them baked mac and cheese and stewed tomatoes. By the way, I used to work as a nurse, so that was a menu I got from the nursing home I worked at. They used to feed that to the patients a lot. So now this is ready to go in the oven. So we're going to cover it up. I'm not going to reuse that. It's not working for me. Let me just throw this cheese on here. We're going to cover it, let it bake for about 30 minutes, then take the cover off and let it brown. Look at these. Yeah, they lost some pineapples, but look how beautiful they look. Ready for a feast. Time, oh yeah, that's done. Done, done, done. Look at that beauty. Check this beef. Pork. Should be done. That needs a few more minutes. A few more minutes on that. Potatoes ain't all the way done. Let's check our cranberry sauce. Oh yeah. It is thickening. The cranberries are popping. Just a couple of more minutes. Just a couple of more minutes. And we will turn that off and let it cool. Now we're going to start on our cornbread dressing. I'm going to put this pan on. We're going to use about a tablespoon of olive oil. Let that heat up. And while that's doing that, I'm going to cut these. They are country breakfast sage sausage. I love the taste of sage in my dressing. And apparently so does my family, because they always say, "Mom, you making that cornbread dressing?" So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm just gonna cut this up while the pan is getting hot. I just slice them down the middle to make them a little bit more bite size. These are actually minimally cooked. The package always says so. Once I cut these up, I'm just going to slip to the side and wash my hand. Oh, because I should also tell you, these are chicken, not pork. Chicken sausage. We don't eat pork around here. Every now and then I will sneak some bacon though, but that's about it. You wash my hands. And in this pan, we're going to put this chicken sausage sliced up. And in here, I have some celery, some white onions, and some multicolored peppers. That are already chopped up, and I'm going to add this to it also. And while this is cooking down, we're going to get our cornbread ready. That's what that stick of butter is for. Look at this. Let's just get another knife. Ta-da! Look at that. You see that? Perfectly cooked cornbread. Yep, that's what we're going to do to it. Tear it up. You asked how it tastes? That's yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. You see that? I actually don't think I need it all. So we're going to save that little corner. This is cooking, so and I'll put a little bit of salt, some black pepper, some sage, I'm actually going to leave this out the drawer. Granulated garlic. Granulated onion. Some thyme. Seasoning's all mixed up in here. Oops. Some wanted to jump out the pan. And we're going to do the same to the cornbread. Some thyme. And I don't really cook with a lot of salt. So when you layer your seasoning, you season every part of your dish. You don't miss the salt. You taste your dish. Granulated onion. Granulated garlic. pepper. I'm not going to put no more salt in here because I don't want it. I already put it in the other one. Stir this up. And the same thing with your cornbread dressing. You can freeze half of it. You have to make sure you cover it right. Some aluminum foil, some plastic wrap. Same thing with your mac and cheese. Put them in those freezer bags and pop them right in the freezer until you're ready for them. Okay, that is cooked down nice and easy. And you're going to take this and pour it on top of that cornbread. I like to add a little sweetness by adding some craisins to mine. Then we mix it all up. I want to ask my cameraman to grab me a container of vegetable or chicken broth. I forgot to get it out the cabinet. You want to make sure it's all mixed up in there in the pantry. I didn't take enough out. Thank you. We go. We're gonna take our chicken broth and get this all nice and moist. Pour a little at a time because you don't want it too moist. You want enough for it to look wet so that when you put it in the oven, oops. Wait. That noise was our collard greens. It wasn't a smoke alarm or anything. Look at that. See how it smashes down, so I have enough fluid in there already. You don't want it soupy. Actually, this side doesn't have enough. There we go. Just want everything to be nice and wet. So, there we go. There's our cornbread dressing. So now we put this in the oven for about 30 to 45 minutes. You can check it about that 30-minute point to see if it's done. We're going to cover it with some aluminum foil. And we're going to put it in the oven. Checking our mac and cheese. Look at that. Cheese is all melted. It is bubbling around the sides. Woo! Push that back in and let it get nice and brown. Whew. And we're just gonna pour it into this bowl. Look at that. Homemade cranberry sauce. Here is our roast beef, with our vegetables, our potatoes, our sweet potatoes, our carrots, and everything is nice and tender. It's still a little hot. It not too long ago came out of the oven. But look at that. It has this little gravy down the bottom. And you just need to slice it once it cools off. Transfer everything to a dish. And voila. You got your roast beef. And if you don't know how to buy a piece of beef, you could always ask the butcher at the supermarket or at a butcher if you go to a butcher. Anybody that works in the meat department will be glad to come out and help you pick a good piece of meat. And that's with anything, beef, chicken, pork if you eat it, the best turkey to buy. Some people don't always know. Okay, guys, let's check these collard greens. I don't know if you can see inside that pot, but you see that it is halfway down where it started. Our smoked turkey is nice and tender and coming off the bone. This is exactly what you want to see. It's exactly what you want to see. Just all this. Coming off the bone, falling off the bone. And then what you do when you get it out your pressure cooker, you just get rid of those bones. Unless you got a little puppy or dog that you want to feed it to. Let's put some in a bowl so you can see them a little bit better. Look at that. Here we go, right there. Look at that. And they are nice and tender and hot. Gonna check on our mac and cheese, see what it's doing in here. Oh, look at that. I bet y'all thought because it was white cheese, it wasn't gonna brown like this. Ooh, y'all. Check on this. Not yet. Let's check on our cornbread. Oh yeah, there we go. And what you're supposed to do, which I never really do, when your cornbread is done, is you're supposed to fork it up fluffy. That's all you gotta do, and it becomes fluffy again. Nice and easy. Oh, look at that.